I'm Alicia Bernadoni, and I believe I would be a good fit for the youth pastor position at Maryland Community Church in Terre Haute, Indiana, because while my experience is limited at being a paid youth pastor and at working in a larger church setting, I still have valuable experience from the part-time paid youth pastor position that I had at my church for 3 months during the summer. This was just a summer position, but from the position I learned how to ask for help when needed and how to recruit volunteers to help with youth group activities and to assist us in getting to and from locations, as well as how to effectively discipline a group of kids for not fully earning a trip, even though it took some convincing the pastor to let me pick an activity close to home because not all the teens had earned the right to go on the trip. And I also learned when I was camp counselor, once again, in that position, I learned how to effectively discipline students when they did not clean up the cabin. There was a group of girls that didn't clean up the cabin. They were junior high, and I was in a staff meeting, so I wasn't there to make sure they did it. So they had to be disciplined for not doing so. I also learned how to set aside time to create cabin devotions, as well as remember to lead the cabin devotions at night. When I was a volunteer at the church out in Medford, Oregon, Table Rock Fellowship, I was a group leader and I cultivated few close relationships with a few of the teens because I believe that teens need an adult other than a family member to value them. And also, youth groups are a great place for teens to meet fellow believers and learn how to share their faith as well as cultivate and continue to grow in their faith. Also, while I was in college studying youth ministry and psychology, the whole time until my last semester, basically, last year, I should say, I was volunteering with the youth group at First Baptist in Greenville. And for the first 2 years, I was a youth volunteer with the high school. And I went on a trip with them to acquire the fire. My final year of helping, I was a small group leader for 3 to 5 junior high girls that were attending that needed a class that was more geared toward them rather than them just sitting around during youth group time, and they weren't comfortable with going into the high school group, and they weren't quite old enough or mature enough yet to handle the high school discussions. But once the youth pastor that was there at the time that I was helping had quit, those girls stopped coming, as well as most of the high school youth group stopped coming, so I moved on to attending adult Bible study so that I could continue to cultivate my own personal relationship with Christ. I also have some valuable experience working with younger children from kindergarten through 6th grade mostly during Vacation Bible School. I was a crew leader and I learned how to discipline a young kid who would not sit still during an activity, as well as make sure that they remain safe throughout the nightly activities. I had also helped with junior church for a month, where the kids ranged from age 3 to 4th grade, and I learned that I didn't quite have quite as much patience with the younger kids from time to time, not necessarily with the kids, but with myself around the younger kids. I would occasionally get frustrated, but I also had an assistant teacher helping me for that month of Sundays, because neither of us were sure if we wanted to do that by ourselves. Thank you for listening, and again, my name is Alicia Bernadone.